Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I watched Creed 2, the sequel to Creed 1, which was the spin-off film set in the RCU, the Rocky Cinematic Universe. This one is directed by Stephen Caple Jr., who's picking up the reins from Ryan Coogler, who did such a fantastic job with the first one. Obviously, this one takes place pretty soon after the events of the first film, with Adonis Creed now an established fighter, with Rocky working out of his corner. But there's a new kid in town called Viktor Drago, son of Ivan Drago, the guy who killed his father in the ring in Rocky 4, so the two must go head to head with more than the title on the line. As I said, I was a big fan of the first Creed. I have reviewed it. It was like the 5th review I ever put up on this channel, so don't feel like you have to go and check it out, but if you want to see my thoughts, I'll put links up here and down in the description. I am a bigger fan of the Rocky franchise, so seeing Sylvester Stallone reprising his role in both Creed and this one just... oh, I loved it. He feels like such a lived-in character with so much history behind him. And the fact that I've been a witness to that history, it's just, oh, it's so lovely to see him on screen. And there is such a nice moment when Adonis Creed approaches him and asks him for some non-boxing advice. And Rocky recalls a memory and starts explaining how it all went down. I was like, yep, that's how it did go down. I know because I was there. I witnessed it. So... the nostalgia levels for me are just kind of through the roof in this, and I like the fact that they didn't overdo it. I think the temptation could have been there to maybe overlay what he's talking about and actually show you the events from Rocky 2, but they don't. I think they handle that just right. But of course, it's not just about the characters from the past, it's also picking up the threads of the new generation, and Michael B. Jordan is brilliant as Creed, and Bianca is also back, once again played by Tessa Thompson. Their relationship feels so genuine, and it feels like it's progressing naturally with a new addition to their family, and with that there comes added pressures of parenthood. And again, I really like the film's treatment of these characters and its underlying theme of parenthood and parents making decisions which not only affect them and how that spills down into their children. You've still got Rocky and Donnie and their surrogate father-son relationship. Rocky's become a bit isolated from his own family. You've also got Donnie with his stepmom and now being a father himself. And then the biggest question mark going into this was, how are they going to juxtapose that, the realism of those characters, against Ivan Drago and his son? And surprisingly, they turn them into well-rounded, three-dimensional characters as well. Dolph Lundgren is great as Drago, who's been cast aside by his country and is now trying to make up for his own failings through his son, who is a beast of a man. Apparently, Michael B. Jordan said on Graham Norton last night that the guy that they got to play Victor was a real-life boxer, and it's always worrying when they do that, get a real boxer to act in a role. Sometimes it works. I mean, surprisingly, Tony Bellew did a great job in the first Creed, but then if you look at the guy who played Mason the Lion Dixon, who was a real life boxer, he wasn't as convincing in Rocky Balboa. But this guy, Victor, has to act in this, and he does a great job. I actually felt quite sorry for him. But I think the most interesting thing they do with his character is parallel him with Rocky. He's the down and out bum, and there's a lot of imagery and scenes which echo Rocky. For example, in one of his early fight scenes, he gets headbutted by his opponent, which sets him off in a rage, and then he wins the fight, just like Rocky did in Rocky 1. So really, he's like this anti-Rocky, and he really does look like he can box. He's a beast of a man. His hand speed is incredible considering his size, and I liked the character dynamics that he has with his father in this. Yeah, he does a really good job. There are a lot of story threads throughout the film, which does make it feel a bit overstuffed at times, but then it does have a 2-hour plus runtime, and it does feel like a 2-hour plus movie. But there are plenty of other little characters in there which I liked seeing again, like Donnie's mum, and Duke's son, the trainer, is also back in this one. And there's also a couple of other cameos from the past movies, which one of them I was like, oh wow, that's cool that they did that. But then another one which was so heartwarming to see on the screen again, it actually got me a little bit choked up. I was like, oh, that's so nice, and I'm so glad that they did that. So what I'm trying to say is that I think they got the dramatic side of the movie right. I was really impressed with all of the cast and the character arcs, but of course it's also a boxing movie and a Rocky boxing movie, so you get the training montages and the huge slugfests, and they're good but definitely not breaking the mold. It's following the same formula. You've got all of the elements in there from Rocky 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. I mean, Rocky even says at one moment, "Go for it," from Rocky 5, I think it is. And he also pretty much says at one point, without saying it, is you need the eye of the tiger, but we're not saying that because we probably haven't paid for the song rights in this one or something, I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't get anything new or unique like the made to look like one shot from the referee's perspective from Creed 1, and pretty much all of the boxing fight scenes suffer from that kind of green screen kind of outer edge effect, which is noticeable, but the fight scenes do their job. They do pack a punch, and that you feel the punches, and when that music kicks in, you can't help but feel energized and motivated, and bet you're walking home doing your shadow boxing, going, yeah, do. So that's my thoughts on Creed 2, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. Like I said, it isn't reinventing the wheel, it is following a formula, but if it ain't broke, then don't try and fix it. It's still got one foot in the past while the other foot is stepping forward into the future, and I'm invested in these characters and I care for them, which is why I love this franchise. And I'm not sure if they're going to continue into a Creed 3. I'd be happy if it was to stop here. I think it would be a good place to stop, but then I said that at the end of Rocky Balboa, and I also thought that at the end of Creed, so who knows what the future will bring. So thanks very much for watching this review. I really do appreciate it, because we do tend to get films a little bit later than everywhere else. So if you're here checking this video out, that's great. I really do appreciate it. Similarly, we've only just got Ralph Breaks the Internet, but I'm working on other stuff at the moment, so I'm going to try and get a review out for that in the middle of the week. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give it a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. Don't forget, Mickey loves you. Subscribe.